Welcome back to another episode of the 25 Days of Puppy Christmas Card Ideas. This one is all about creating a gingerbread house and is done with some composite work so that you don't have to try to get all of this in one shot. So even if you're a brand new beginner, we're going to show you how to do this. The 25 Days of Puppy Christmas Card series can be done with one or many dogs, created with a traditional camera or your phone, done in your house or outside, and range from elegant and refined to fun and quirky, so there's a fit for everyone. And don't forget, these photo shoot ideas also make for great social media advent calendars, even if they aren't all going to be used on your Christmas cards. If you're using a traditional camera, I recommend you set up a remote shutter release through a clicker or an app on your phone so you can take photos from where you're posed. If you're using your phone, I recommend you set it to cinematic video and take screenshots of the best frames after, since pups tend to move around a lot and you don't want to stress over missing the shot. Each of these episodes is designed for a specific card template that will link in the caption, but you can use this on whatever template works best for you. Now we are leaning into the gingerbread house side of things, meaning the majority of the card you're doing is the gingerbread house, and you're going to have an open door where people are going to be able to see you and your dog inside. Now you can choose how you want to do this, but I recommend that you are going to be standing and your dog is going to be sitting inside of this door frame. So we're just taking a vertical image. This does not have to be horizontal, doesn't have to be a big deal. And I like the idea of doing this as a composite shot so that you can get the shot you need of your dog, get the shot that you need of yourself, and you don't have to worry about doing it at the same time. So this is going to be one where you can do it one of two ways. You can just be standing and posing inside of this door. So you can just be like looking inside of the door and people are standing there, the puppies are standing there, or you can lean into this by leaning into this. So you can either peek around the corner of the door and your dog can just be standing there or peeking around, or you can lean against a door frame. So you can take this wherever you want. If you're just posing, you can just go ahead and pose, use a blank wall, easy to cut yourself out of. Or if you want to be leaning, use an actual doorway. Use a doorway that doesn't have anything behind you if possible. It's going to help you to cut it out, but you can do whatever you need to do. So you can either lean up against that door frame and kind of like shoulder against it. You can put your arm up on it. You can kind of put your arm down around it. You can wrap your fingers around the outside of the wall so it's kind of like the outside of the house. Or you can be standing on the inside and peeking out, meaning most of your body will be covered and your eyes are going to peek out, your hands will be around it, maybe part of your body will be outside of it, but not the entire thing. So this is going to be a kind of a full length, or more so a full length image where you're going to have your legs involved, unless again, you're peeking around the side and your pups are the ones sitting there, or again, peeking. If you can get your dog to peek, by all means, go for it. And this is just going to give us a really cute little fantasy version of living in a gingerbread house for the holidays with your dog, and it's really easy to then Photoshop those things together. Images straight into your template because we are going to be operating in the door of the gingerbread house. So you're just going to add in each individual photo. You are going to use your quick selection tool and you're going to remove the background with a layer mask. Now from there, you are going to have to refine it a little bit. So if we look around my dogs, you can see they have that white halo. We need to fix that. So when a hard brown brush, 100% opacity black, you are going to come in nice and small and you're just going to refine that line. So you want to make sure your opacity is on 100%. And then you are just going to remove any of the haloing around this that you need to. So turn it on and off. You can see where that is going to be coming from. Make sure you have each individual puppy. And then we're just going to come in and refine any haloing around them. You may need to get in with a soft brown brush around their ears, depending on how their ears are fluffy or not. You can kind of see how you're removing that already. If you've got a little bit of that background up in their ears where they have just refined parts, go with a light opacity and you can just start to paint that away. You can see how that goes away pretty easily. You want to make sure that you also are refining around yourself. So if you've got any haloing around you or your outfit, you're just going to come in and you are going to refine that. If you have hair that you need to tame down, you can do that either on a soft or a hard brush, depending on what type of hair you are going to have. And you can kind of see how it starts to blend in there just a little bit as well. So you can kind of refine that as you go. You want to tweak that puppy just a little bit. And if you need to do shading, then you are going to add a new layer. So let's say I'm going to shade Miss Gemma right here. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add a clipping mask just to that layer so it only impacts the layer that it is clipped to, which is in this case Gemma. I'm going to grab a soft brown brush on 100% opacity. I'm going to make it a little bit on the fluffy side. Because this is a nice dark bottom side of this, I'm going to start adding in the shadows. And you can kind of see how it starts to take her away. If it's too much, I can then just back off that opacity. I can do it in layers, and that just kind of ties her into that. You can do that on each individual dog if it makes sense to do that. Watch where your shadows are. Shadows are on mine on the left side of things, a little bit on the right side, and you are just going to want to make sure that you have a little bit of separation between each dog. So you can see how Ember kind of blends into Lucy here. I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow, and then I'm going to reduce that opacity pretty drastically. And now all of a sudden she stands out a little bit more. Clearly, if the light source is coming in through here, she is going to be casting a shadow on Lucy. So now we kind of have that ability to tie it together. We've got the cute little tree in the background. You can add different backgrounds. You can add different elements if you want light. You can see we've got a tree over here, the peppermints and the gumdrops and the icing and all of that. If you want this space up here, it would be good for a message. That's kind of how you're going to include everything in here. I might want to work on my shadows just a little bit, so I'm going to add in a layer mask, use my clipping again, and this time I'm going to just kind of brush down my hair just a little bit, and you can kind of see that's too dark, so we're going to refine it just like that. And again, you can do this in layers. You can brush it on with different opacities, and then just make sure that you've got that on so that you are good to go with your image. Now, because we are doing heavy Photoshop work on this, you are going to use this as a single image. Now, if you want, you can get a little creative with this. If you've got multiple dogs, maybe put one or two in the doorway. You can be in the doorway, and then you can have one or two peeking out the window. Whatever's going to work best for you creative-wise and work best with how your dogs are going to behave on this one. And this is just a really fun way to connect with those gingerbread vibes. So you're going to do something along the lines of a gingerbread house or warm wishes or cozy wishes for the holidays, something like that, as your text overlay and the message to the people you are sending this to. But this is just a really fun one to have a good time with, to play up. And again, I recommend shooting these individually and then compositing them together. But if you've got dogs that behave really well and you want to do it, by all means, save yourself a little time and get it in a single shot. And if this was your Christmas card, congratulations, you found your Christmas card. We cannot wait to see what you're going to do on your social media leading up to the big Christmas card reveal with the 24 other ideas. But if this was not your card, we do have those other 24 ideas for you, all 25 days of Puppy Christmas Cards series long. And we're going to be doing some really cool things in the future. So follow along as we help you to continue to thrive in your pet parent life. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.